Hey guys, this is Miss Regine from SOAR Educational Services, and today we're going to go over an Algebra 1 word problem. So let's begin. If the dimension of a rectangle is made 2 feet longer and 3 feet wider, it will have an area that is 64 square feet larger. But if the length is increased by 3 feet of that same rectangle and the width by 2 feet, it will have an area that is 68 feet larger. And I forgot to write, I'm trying to squeeze in space into this small board, but we need to solve for the length and the width of the original length and the width of the rectangle. So let's see what we have. It says that you have your original rectangle, which is length and width. It is made 2 feet longer, so the length increased by 2, and the width increased by 3. And if you do that, you will get an area that is increased by 64 feet. Now, if you recall, area is length times width. So my length is whatever it was originally plus 2 more feet. My width is whatever it was originally plus 3 more feet. And now my area, which was length times whatever that gave me, I don't know, but now it's 64. So, and then we have a second case that's happening here. So whenever you're given things like that have like 2 different scenarios, start thinking systems of equation. So in the second case, instead, you're trying to see, well, what's going to be the best thing to do here with this rectangle? Let's say we decide to increase the length by 3 feet instead, and the width by 2 feet. Now you have an area that's gotten bigger, which is 68 square feet wider. Okay, so I'm going to erase the original word problem so I can have more space to do some work. So when you have something like this and you're trying to solve for L and W, and you do have a problem because you do have 2 unknown, so that is not a good situation to be in. So we gotta get this taken care of. What we are going to do is we are going to think of systems of equation, but let's start first by foiling to try to see how we can separate things. So if we FOIL this, you have LW plus 3L plus 2W plus 6, and that equals LW plus 64. So that was our first equation. Now this one, we have LW plus 2L plus 3W plus 6, and we have, and it equals LW plus 68. So this is what we have. Now we can start looking and see, okay, well, maybe I could do some sort of elimination thing going on here, and we can, but there are a lot of things happening. So let's try to separate things first. Let's take our first equation first and try to reduce it, simplify as much as we can. So 3L plus 2W plus 6 equals LW plus 64. So I say I have LW on both sides, so they can cancel out, because if I did minus LW, trying to move things to a different side, they would cancel out. And then I can see that if I did minus 6 here, minus 6 here, so I have 3L plus 2W equals 58. So that just is a lot neater to look at than what we had before. So let me just write that over here. 3L plus 2W equals 58. Now let me take my second equation, and I'm going to do something pretty similar to it also. So that was LW plus 2L plus 3W plus 6 equals LW plus 68. Okay, so same thing here. I say I have LW on both sides. In the interest of space, I'm just going to say they cancel out. But if you think about it, if I did minus LW and I went over here and I did minus LW, you would see that, oh, they do cancel out. Okay, so now I can do minus 6. So like I said, very similar. Minus 6. So we have 2L plus 3W equals 62. So 3L plus 2W equals 62. And in fact, let me write it right here. So now this probably looks a lot friendlier. Oh, it's not 3L, it's 2L. Okay, so it looks friendlier. We can probably solve this using our regular systems of equation strategies. Let's just get rid of W first. Solve for the length first. So if I want to get rid of W first, think of this as finding the least common multiple. It's very similar to that. So I have a 2 with the W and a 3 with the second equation. And how can I eliminate that? Well, you're going to have to think of a number yourself that's going to help you eliminate that. Because the goal is you want the numbers to be the same, but the signs to be different. So then that way they can cancel out. So I know they will have 6 in common, because if I go 2, 4, 6 and 3, 6, like I said, think of it like least common multiple. 6 is what they're going to have in common. So I'm going to multiply my top equation by positive 3 and my bottom equation by negative 2. So 3 times 3 is 9L. 3 times 2 is 6W. Oh, and I'm going to need a calculator. 58 times 3 is 174. And then over here, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4L. Plus negative 2 times 3 is negative 6W. And 62 times 2, that should be 124. Negative 124. Okay, so you can see that the reason I multiplied by those numbers was because now I can have a positive 6 on top and a negative 6 on the bottom. So that was good because now the W's cancel out, which was, and that's been my problem, like having 2 unknowns. I have a length and a width that I need to find. Now I just have to worry about the length because the width is gone now. So 9L minus 4L is 5L. 124 minus 174 should be 50. So now we have L equals 10. So our length is 10. That was our original length. And now we can plug it into any of these equations. So I'll do it right here to find our width. I'll just plug it into the bottom one. So if our length was 10, let's see. So this is 20 plus 3W equals 62. And if I do minus 20 on both sides, I have 42. And 42 divided by 3 is 14. So I have a width of 14. Now let's think back to the original equation. I think it was that, so if my original length was, so my original area, 14 times 10 is 140. Okay, so that's the original area. Just to see if it all works out, 140 square feet. That was the original area. Because if my length is 10 and my width is 14. Now, the length was increasing by 2, so it's 12 now. And the width was increasing by 3, so it's 17. So now it became 204 minus 140. Yep, that is 64 square feet larger. And then in the second scenario, the length, which was originally 10, increased by 3, which made it 13. And the width, which was originally 14, increased by 2, making it 16. And that's 208. If you subtract that by 140, it's 68 square feet larger now for the new area. All right, well, I hope this was helpful. I know this one was a very involved multi-step problem. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.